Hello everyone, welcome to today's lesson, and we are going to learn about the major issues of concern in East African prose fiction. And we find that East African prose fiction has been greatly influenced by activities happening in the region. And East African prose fiction has four major stages, and that is the pre-colonial period, the colonial period, the post-colonial period, and the contemporary stages. Pre-colonial period talks about the period before colonialism. Colonial period is during the colonialism itself, and post-colonial it's after the colonial government. And now currently we are in the contemporary stages, and this talks about the things that are happening in the current society. Every work of literature written at different periods has different issues of concern. And the issues we are going to look at 8 majorly in East African prose fiction. Issue number 1 is colonialism and post-colonialism. We find that many East African novels by various authors explore the impact of colonialism on the region's history, culture, and identity. They often depict the struggle for independence and the challenges of nation building in the post-colonial era. That is what we can look at when we are talking about colonialism and post-colonialism. The impact of colonialism itself on the region's history, culture, and identity, and the struggle for independence and the challenges of nation building in the post-colonial era. Issue number 2, we have identity and ethnicity. East Africa's diverse ethnic groups and cultures are a recurring theme in fiction. Novels often delve into issues of identity, belonging, and the tensions between different ethnic communities. The issues of identity, belonging, and the tensions between different ethnic communities. We find that various authors from different ethnic communities major on their communities and the issues affecting their culture and ethnic groups. Next, we have political instability and conflict. Here we find that the region has experienced political upheaval and conflicts, which are frequently portrayed in prose fiction. Authors address issues like civil wars, dictatorships, and the impact on everyday life. Issue number 4, we have the socioeconomic disparities. East Africa faces significant disparities in wealth and living conditions. Fiction often explores the experiences of the marginalized, shedding light on poverty, inequality, and social injustices in the society, whereby we find that in various communities in East Africa, we find we have various schools in the society, various classes. You find that there is the ruling class and the middle class and those who are living in poverty, who are experiencing social injustice. So fiction explores the experiences of the marginalized, shedding light on the poverty, inequality, and social injustices. Next, we have urbanization and rural life. The rapid urbanization in East Africa is a common theme, with novels examining the challenges and opportunities it brings, as well as the contrast between urban and rural life. We find that various urban centers, e.g. Nairobi in Kenya, Dar es Salaam in Tanzania, Kampala in Uganda, and many other urban centers, we find that various authors explore the challenges and opportunities that urbanization brings, and also as well as the contrast between the urban and rural life. We have issue number 6 as gender and women's rights. Many authors in East Africa address gender issues such as women's rights, GBV, that is gender-based violence, and the changing roles of women in the society. Women's rights and gender-based violence are more addressed in the contemporary stages of East African prose fiction, that is the current society, and also the changing roles of women in the society. And also in the colonial period, we find that various authors also explored the role of women in the struggle for independence. And issue number 7, that will be our second last issue. We find that we have environmental concerns. Environmental degradation and conservation efforts are reflected in some fiction, particularly in the context of deforestation, wildlife conservation, and climate change. Environmental degradation and conservation efforts are reflected in some fiction, particularly in the context of deforestation, wildlife conservation, and climate change. And last but not least, issue number 8, we have tradition versus modernity. The tension between traditional values and modernity is a common thread, with characters often grappling with the clash of these two worlds. Whatever that was happening during the traditional period and whatever that is happening in the modern period. Now the tension between the values and modernity, getting to embrace the modern society amidst the traditional African society. Hence we find the clash of these two worlds. And we'll finish by saying that these issues are recurrent in East African prose fiction, hence reflecting the complex and evolving socio-political landscape of the region. And that marks the end of our lesson today. Bye-bye, till next time.